Still running your health checks. Can you hear me?
What? Yeah. Come on. I'm healthy. I don't have COVID.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Things are working?
Yeah, some muscles.
Yeah.
I'd say it's working.
It's working. And once more with Philly.
Well, now that's necessary every episode to start the show. Is that because I sent you the salute emoji earlier? You just felt... Do you say patriotic? Is that a American thing? Yeah. Or is that every country?
It's associated with you a lot. But yes.
Yeah. I haven't felt patriotic in years.
What's happening over there?
Ricky's running the mill, so that's always a good sign.
Great.
He came in this morning and asked me, is it button pushing time? And I was like, yes, it is.
Cool.
It's a good feeling.
Awesome.
It's been a busy week. A lot of things.
Yeah.
It feels like had a lot to do, and then all the stuff that we talk about feels like it exploded in the last week. We've got a significant software corner, GPT corner situation. It's just going to turn into GPT.
I've got the samples lined up, ready to go.
Ooh, maybe later. We'll make them come back after the break.
Good. Yeah, plenty to chat about. Yeah.
I think I interrupted. How are you doing?
It's been a stressful week.
Yeah.
What are we up to? 1, 2, 3 or 4 butters down with COVID.
Oh,
3.
Holy hell. That's bad.
So I've been wearing a few hats, which has been, usually when I get a chance to play machinist, I have a great time. But what?
Sorry, I was making a photo.
What? Wait.
You caught that. That was quick. It's just mocking you. No, that wasn't it.
I thought you were giving like Star Trek gestures there.
I can't even do that. Oh,
there you go.
Getting stiff. I can't even do that anymore. Too much computer. Sorry, I interrupted you like 3 times.
What was I saying? Usually when I get to play machinist, I have fun, but it's been less fun this week. Kind of just stressful.
Yeah,
it's a combination of factors, and also just feeling rusty. Like there are a couple of jobs this week, there was one particular job which was quite meaty and had a bunch of big nest, lots of components, lots of double-sided parts. I just felt quite rusty.
Yeah.
And Fusion kept crashing, trying to nest the bloody thing. And yeah, that one combined with various other factors made for a tricky week, but ended it nicely, converted a couple of meaty jobs, which kind of made everyone relax a little bit about our financial situation, which is nice.
That's good.
So yeah, breathing a sigh of relief at the end of the week. And yeah, hopefully people will come back to work quickly because we need them.
Yeah, the whole remote thing doesn't work in manufacturing.
No. So next week I think I'll just have to stay off the machines, and it depends who's back and in what capacity.
Yeah.
In terms of how we cover people, but yeah, that's what's happening here. And just had a stressful weekend as well. Like we went away last weekend and had a partial ceiling collapse in the hotel room we're in.
Yeah.
And like these huge chunks of plasterboard narrowly missed our sleeping daughter, and it was just like that was quite a tiresome start to the week.
If that happens in America, there's a lawsuit.
I'm ready for a day off.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, not here. Yeah, so ready for some relaxation today on my Friday.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had I think I mentioned I had a week of last time we had a water heater issue at my house.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know if I exactly said what, but my wife found a bit of a patio outside that was just dripping water from the ceiling, and we were like, oh, that's not normal. Maybe it's condensation. Nope, that's where the water heater is. So, yeah. So that was... that's too long. We got quotes on that. I think I'm probably repeating myself, but it feels like it's been 3 months since we talked about all this last. It's just been so many things happening that feel stressful too. It was a costly quote thing, and I think, if I'm coaching my business self, I say just pay for it, but my home self, it's like the quote was $2,500 to replace this water heater, and I was like, I knew the prices at from the big box stores for the water heater, and I was like, this is like the most basic machine possible. Like, it should not cost this much money to do this.
Yeah.
Long story short, I did it myself, and it cost me $850. I fixed it after 4 trips to the hardware store and learning all about plumbing parts and push-to-fit fittings, which are amazing. I didn't know that existed, really. Like, you can cut off a piece of... Amazing. Like, my house was built in the early 90s, where you had to know how to, like, solder copper pipes together. So, like, it was a specialized skill. Now I took a tool that cost $17 and pushed on another fitting, and it's permanent. Like, what? Like, how is that even possible? So I fixed it. We turned back on the hot water situation. It pushes a bunch of air out through the lines, right? Because there's no water in the system of the house. And I thought I had drained all the hot air, so I went and started using our clothes washing machine. And it blows out a bunch of air suddenly, and it scares the crap out of me. I think, God, somebody shot them in the washing machine. You're like, oh, no. And then it stops that noise and starts filling itself like normal. I'm like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. I sit and work pretty close to this thing. So it sits there for a certain amount of time, whatever these Samsung washing machines do, soaks, and I hear water dripping, and I'm like, no, you got to be kidding me. I've never heard this before. I go over, and it's like broken apart inside or pulled apart in a way. And I was just like, I didn't have time. I'm already behind on this other project to fix this. So luckily we got that fixed in the next 2 days by a handy person for way less money. Good. But like, I fixed an appliance and another broke at the same time. I needed to do this big job of work. So it's just, I know the home life struggle lately.
Yeah. Plumbing's the worst.
Turned out to be pretty easy, but...
Laura's our in-house plumber. Anytime anything's leaking, I'm just like, dang.
That's very nice.
To your wife. It's broken.
It's lovely.
Same with locks. Because she's run art studios for so long, she's practically a locksmith, because like she's helped so many people fit locks to their studio doors and like
Aaron's good at that too.
Like fancy lock systems to old buildings and stuff. She's just like really on point.
Yeah, Aaron's done all the locks in our house, all the doors, and every time.
Yep.
I don't know. It's doing a thing. Can you?
Yeah, I'm too impatient for them. I just like start working properly, and I don't want to read the instructions.
Same exact thing for me. I'm like, I don't. Why are these things not going together?
I love your Yoda. Jim.
You got mother pellet.
Did it work?
Justin.
Yeah, I got yours is way
Don't make
better.
me break out the samples.
I need them. Mother palette is working. I thought I could hand tap a bunch of M12 holes in almost 50 millimeters worth of aluminum, 40-some millimeters. That is tiring.
Yeah.
So I am...
Why did you do a thing like that?
Because, well, so the form tapping situation that I understand, you got to have like a specialized collet for each size of tap. And so
right.
I was just like, I'll just do it on the cheap. I'll hand tap them. I'll drill the holes in the machine. I only need a couple right now. And I start doing it. I got through like 2 that I needed. And I was like, nope, this is not only hard, but like it just like I bungled one hole immediately. So I got to fix that somehow. I was immediately just like, no, this is the machine does this. Even if it's for like a non-production part, like I immediately went out and found the form tap, the tap, call it. So that's going to happen next because anyway, that said, it worked really well. I did my first Pearson pallet bottom side, whatever the mating side, and learned how to do a key seat cutter. And I used a roll tap for the first time, which was interesting, but very cool.
Roll tap. What's the difference? What's a roll tap?
I don't know if I don't really know what I'm saying, but it's a thread mill with multiple, like 10 teeth going up. Yeah. And so then you program it to do like basically like one pass to cut like 6 mil worth of threads, which is pretty cool all at once.
I would call that a multi-point thread mill, but I don't know what I'm talking about either.
I think that's the same idea. I was very confused on how to program it. Of course, The Godfather, NYCNC had 6 videos on how to do it. So I watched those and learned how to do it. So that felt really good. I'm going to make it into a templatized like pallet setup. So when I want to make a new pallet, I'm just going to I think I'm going to run 2 at once. So I have a backup one, like, because it's just, getting all the tools set up, you kind of need them every once in a while. And it's like, it'd be nice to just have a blank sitting around that cost me less than $100 to have it ready. So that's been sweet. Right. We're finishing a job. This is the first time I've ever done a palletized set of parts. So we can run 16 parts at once on it. And it's 2 operations. And it's taken me too long. I feel very slow. Like you were saying, like I feel super slow at like getting it going and like just running it. But once Ricky gets to it, it's like, oh my God, he just chewed through, dozens of parts this morning already. And it just works. It's kind
fantastic.
Of foolproof in a certain sense. It feels nice.
So good. Yeah. That's awesome. Does that mean you've sold your vices? You're like single point for life? I
still have a vice. Because, you want to know the stupid thing I did with this job is I misordered the material by 3/8 of an inch. So we had to put the stock.
Too big, too small?
Too big into the vise and face off a bunch of it. All 120 parts, pieces of stock. We didn't opt 0 first. So that's part of what has been silly. So yeah, I still need a vice.
Sure. Okay.
For your mistakes.
I want one. I want a mill.
I think you need a mill.
What? I want a milling machine.
Mom, meatloaf.
I've been daydreaming about 5-axis lately. Like both router style and like have you seen I'm going to get it wrong, Matsura 330X? They're probably half a mil to all told, but they're nice little compact machines that you can throw a little pallet changer on the side and just sounds, cute. I don't have a use. It just sounds amazing, but the router would be pretty cool. We've had a couple inquiries lately that's pushing me to think about, what is the next phase of, the Shop Saber's been good, but it's like, does we've talked about this a few times. Does just a flat 3-axis router keep us in a position that, makes the best parts for us, or like keeps us in the more challenging work that like it's so attainable to just get a 3-axis router anymore that I feel like the competition's going to drive down the parts and the cost and the need, I guess. So
yeah.
Just thinking about that more and
more. Yeah, I've kind of lost a lot of, for now, I'm not sure why, I've lost a lot of that like window shopping for machine vibe that I had a couple of years ago, or even a year ago. Like I remember talking to you in the early days of the podcast, which is only 40 or 50 episodes a week ago, almost at a year. But yeah, I had definitely had more machine lust back then of like, you know, thinking about 5-axis stuff down the track. And yeah, that conversation around staying ahead of all the 5-axis, of all the 3-axis kids. But I've kind of lost a lot of that impetus, and yeah, I'm not sure what that's about, whether I'm kind of just more comfortable in what we've got and what we can do with it, or whether there's something bigger going on. But I suppose the pencil sharpener sort of satisfies that itch to some extent of like, I feel like there's still heaps of capacity in that machine to do interesting stuff with it.
Yeah.
So if I want to like fiddle with multi-axis work, then I know that that's where I should put my energy. But
I have an answer for why this has changed as your coaching and business skills have improved, I think, too. Not just lust after machines you don't really need to buy like I do. So,
check. Yeah, maybe. There we go.
Yeah.
Lost some of that shiny object distraction vibe, which, you know, leads me to the one of my notes here, which is, you know, I've written burnout risk. I feel like I'm at risk of this, and, you know, by scrubbing some of that, cleaning away some of that, like, excitement and, you know, whatever it is, you know, whether it's being excited about some tool that we'll probably never acquire or some methodology that I'd like to explore. So I've lost a lot of that excitement. And I think part of that has come from that sort of business coaching journey of like standardization. And, you know, they use this term, which bugs me every time they use it, of like bored and rich. And it makes me a little bit ill.
Yeah, I
neither
the
of
same.
those things are of interest to me. And at times they've explained it, sort of contextualized in a way that makes me go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's just about structure and blah, blah, blah. It's not about those words specifically. But it does come up fairly regularly. And yeah, I think at some level I am bored, but not the latter.
Oh, I didn't tell you I'm rich already, so.
And yeah, I don't know. I think that's sort of leading to a point where I'm fairly low energy and at risk of burning out. I don't know. We'll see. I think burnout's associated with overwork, more so, but
yeah,
so it might not be the right word, but yeah,
well, I think it's multifaceted. I've definitely been there. Where what do you think? Like, I think everybody's version of that can be different, but like, what do you think that's? Do you have any deeper thoughts on why that's happening for you lately? Exploration isn't what you want it to be, or?
Yeah, look, I think just having sort of been driven, kind of fueled by the hustle for so long, and then sort of the structure of sort of removing myself from the hustle, to some extent, has meant that I've lost my purpose, even if I never knew what my purpose was. You know, yeah, don't know.
I'm quite a bit like that too, though.
Don't know.
I've been reconciling where I haven't been able to disconnect and have to change because of changing roles, which is frankly what I really want to happen. But I'm pretty certain I'm going to have a lot of trouble with it because, similar to you, since I started architecture school in 2008, I basically have been driven by hustle. And it's not as a weird... I think it's a true description, but it's like, it's not so much about the want to be rich. It's not my thing. I want to be comfortable and not feel the need to, I don't know. I don't want to be bored by any means. I want it to stabilize such that we can have less stress, less constant need to succeed. And I've had these moments in the last year, especially, where I'm like, I don't really know what to do with myself when there is stability, and I always feel like I have this constant like, what's the next thing I got to do? And we've never gotten to a place even where it's like feels comfortable, but there's bits of that every once in a while, and I don't know. Did the coaches did they get into that kind of thing at all with you?
Yeah, I've had a few one-on-one conversations with them about that sort of stuff. And it often ends up in a conversation about my discomfort around profit, and then them trying to workshop me through that and, get me across the line in terms of why profit's important and all the exciting things I could do with it if we could make the company consistently profitable, which sort of, excites me temporarily. And I can get into that space of like, oh yeah, there are lots of, things I want to do company wise, in terms of innovation and for our community and blah, blah, blah. But it's not a sort of, I don't find that energy self-sustaining in the way that I'm used to the sort of the hustle being self-sustaining and sort of all along. So it's a different dynamic and I suppose a different purpose. So yeah, challenging.
I got a mood changer.
Oh yeah, go.
So I know where this comes from. I just received a notification from Google that we got a 1-star review, which this is like, I hate these review systems, but they work to some degree to get you more like service-based business. This person, he has commented extensively on a Facebook reel post that has gone semi-viral, like small viral, like 70,000 views, lots of comments.
Mm-hmm.
It's about spray painting the tips of our forklift tines because they're in a space where we're constantly walking over them. We don't use the forklift all that often. So it's like a lot of out of context. So all these like freaking expert forklift drivers are commenting, which I've found humorous, and I've been joking about with friends that like they think we're idiots because we potentially are, we've done this thing that seems like it's not going to last, right? Because they're like, oh, five pallets later, it's going to scratch off. I'm like, we don't use it 5 times a week, man. Like, it's not going anywhere. So there's just all these like angry men commenting that we're idiots, basically. And this person has left like a whole string of comments, of which I've not replied to any of them. I almost, I've let them go because it's just creating more engagement and creating more views, which I find hilarious. It's like hate watching. So he seemingly found our Google site and just gave us a 1-star review for no reason at all. No reason. What kind of person?
Yeah. Great. What can you do about 1-star reviews?
Go find his page and give him a 1-star
when
review.
They're not an actual customer, because you can't
I don't know.
Get rid of them, can you?
I can reply to it, I guess. I don't know. It's an interesting, fun challenge to find out about. At least
we've had one of those once, but it was from a customer we were engaged with, so I could get on the phone with him and get into damage control mode and resolve it, and he took it down. But like for random. There must be a situation, like, because businesses must get trolled all the time.
We talked about this before, where like the internet has exploded on people, and then like based on something that's completely unrelated, and these people aren't even related to the company in any way. It's
there must be a system for getting rid of such things.
Well, hey John,
like
what was your
proving they're not a customer?
What was your review based on, John? Your service experience with Portland CNC? Oh, no, it was an Instagram reel about a forklift. You did.
No, I could not a brass farthing. At least not till you pull yourself together and go to work.
Anyway.
Amazing. Well, might be that time, hey?
Good.
What's new in Software Corner?
Old tea, I think.
Tea.
You can do whatever you want with the balloon.
GPT special edition of Software
that's
Corner.
Good. Good. All right, what you got?
I'm just obsessed. I'm doing that thing where like I'm adding the pro account to checkout like every other day. I'm like, do I need it? Do I need it? No, it's still working fine. Restrain yourself, boy. I had a long masterclass sales business coaching thing yesterday. It was like a 4-hour session, and I was supposed to do it with Aaron, but Aaron was struck down by the COVID. And so I was doing it solo, and I wasn't doing it solo because I spent the whole time with GPT open and just like pretty much using it as a note-taking system. So every note I put in it, I sort of asked it to extrapolate on or expand upon or write questions based on it. And so it was like it's like a sales intensive. So there was a lot of stuff around sales processes and qualification questions and things like that. And GPT was just like working overtime of just like producing all this sort of extra stuff around it, you know, with my inputs around our business and our company. It was just fantastic. So I came away like with, you know, pages on pages because I pulled it all out into my notes for digesting. So I was quite overwhelmed by the end of it. I'd sort of processed so much information in a short period of time. But yeah, it's fantastic. Really, really loving it more and more. Just using it more and more. What have you been doing? Because you're on the pro account, aren't you? The plus.
Yeah. I just sent you the screenshot of my inquiries in the last like less than a day of just like
Can't wait.
constant. My favorite probably
Yeah,
cereal,
nice.
soup or not. We had a debate about whether cereal is soup, and I'm kind of on the side that I think it's soup.
My big question is, can the new GPT that you have access to access the internet?
No, I tried that yesterday.
No, still not. Okay.
No, but it says September
Damn.
2021 when I asked it that. But
Yeah.
I will
that's
say
what-
it is impressive what I'd retried some of the things that I had tried in the past and gotten kind of like less exciting, less great answers where like when it started 3.5, whatever, it was like, oh my God, it's answering me, like, and it makes sense. It's not gibberish. And now it's like, oh, these are really good answers. I got a doorbell. Yeah, these are getting to be really good answers, like complex. And I think the obvious thing, if you've played with this for enough time, you see all the people talking about is the prompt is everything, like what you give it. Like I just saw a shortcut for iOS that you can create now where you can basically talk to Siri or type into the shortcut, and the prefill on the back end will theoretically let you have GPT control your smart home devices by its response back through that system. I didn't get it to work yet, but you can basically do things like,
Wow.
hey Dingus, it's dark in the kitchen. And it will imply what that means better than Siri does, send it back and light the kitchen up. Pretty crazy.
Amazing.
So that's one thing.
Makes Siri feel like a rock.
I'm constantly thinking like, how can I just use this through these earphones rather than having to type it, let's expedite this thing.
Yeah. I'm not a great typer. Like I'm a slightly evolved like 2-finger typer, and I've kind of learned to like touch type a little bit, but I'm still pretty like rudimentary. So I find it quite tedious having to like input everything via text. And I want voice control. But yeah, what other fun things have you been doing?
So in the last week, I don't think this was 4, but I had GPT make add to cart links for one of our products so that in Shopify, you're on the page, it'll automatically add an accessory to the cart without changing the page through JavaScript. And it pops up a little notification that says like, all right, you've added these to your cart. And it's in the cart.
Oh,
I would never figure that out on my own. And it's just a block of text that it created and I put into that page. And
amazing.
it works perfectly. Yeah. What did I do? Oh, I created a bunch of product ideas yesterday. I have like a backlog of ideas on improvements and product ideas for like a year now, a year and a half of just like things we could work on that are pretty sweet, kind of like starting points, right? But also it was like fairly complex. Like I told it to combine a couple concepts of categories of things and like, can you create new ideas in these fields? And it didn't necessarily do that, but it created some things. It was like, one of them was like, you could create robotic automation solutions that are unique to your customers. And I was like, well, it's kind of a BS answer right at first. But then I was like, hold on, what if I've always wanted to use a robot for routing? What if I got a robot somehow and had it just clean the sheets afterwards? Like it just brought an arm out and it was like, as you know, I created that little bit of it, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's been really fantastic, you know, going from the things I normally use it for, like email drafts, code creation. I think I sent you a little thing I made for Text Expander that probably didn't make any sense, but Text Expander is a little code expansion tool for Mac, and you can, I think Windows not. And I had it create this thing I've been thinking about forever where I use like Text Sniper to select a bunch of like line items off of a invoice vertically. So they're all stacked up. Instead of typing them in and adding up all the totals, I select all those pieces of text. I type 4 letters and it pastes out the total of that amount for me. And like it can take out like all the other characters so it properly accounts for the amounts. And I just asked ChatGPT to do that. And now I can do it at any point through Text Expander. It's like, I feel like I have like superpowers about these stupid nerdy computer things.
That's cool. I haven't tried anything code related. I think just because of I feel I have an inability in that space to do it, to even understand it. So to get GPT to solve it for me, I wouldn't necessarily feel confident in integrating it, but I
just
need
ask it to explain it.
Expand my horizons.
That's the thing. Exactly. Like last week, I've been like, I don't understand what you mean. Can you make this more explicit? And it like,
yeah. I tried to get Laura sold on it the other night because she was writing an application for a public artwork commission, and she was workshopping the titles with me. I was like, I don't love the title, and I was just like, I was about to go to bed and just pulled up GPT on my phone and was like, this is the theme, this is the kind of the history of the building this work's going in, give me 5 title options. And, you know, we ran through like 15 or 20 title options in GPT. Laura had never seen it before. Like she'd never seen it like type out responses the way it does. And we didn't use any of its suggestions, but the conversation that it sparked and the new sort of thoughts that it led to a much stronger title. So it was just like, it's like having a superpowered buddy to workshop ideas with and be like, trigger new things. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, I mean, like today one thing I don't understand well or know at all, I understand it's possible, but in the routine, the post for this palette of parts, I have a file I have 2 files, right? Let's just say there's 2 files. There's a file for running the parts and like a one and done fixture. So that's actually an NC program that runs an op1 and an op2, puts them together. It does all of it. That's pretty simple. It's mostly just a post thing in Fusion. But I also have another file that takes that fan and blows off the table. So you can just go open that. But technically what I want to do is just append it to the end. And I know it's something like a subroutine, but I don't quite understand that. It's like using M98. So I just asked ChatGPT with a Fanico ID control, how do I run a subroutine? dumped it out, gave me an exact example what the lines do. And so I need to dig into that. And I'm a little hesitant to do anything since I've had experience crashing this damn machine. But, it gets me so much farther than just Googling Fanuc things is a nightmare. It is practical machinist forum posts of angry old men from 13 years ago that don't have anything to do with today or what I'm trying to do. It's just, so it's brilliant. It's like the quality that comes out of it is just so good. It's a big software corner.
As a prospective plus account convertee, should I do it?
I personally think if you've thought about it this much and it's not a considerable amount of money, yes. And if you're not using it, go back on it. Like I'm not saying that having access to GPT-4 has changed my life right now. It is interesting. It's actually slower than the other ones. So it's kind of weird to wait for it because it used to be so fast on the other ones. But like, I don't know, just not worrying about it and not thinking about it. And it's always there. Every time I open it, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's not that you're getting different answers or higher quality results. It's more the speed and accessibility.
Yep. And then I guess depending on how long this preview to 4 is, right? Like you get things first or like betas or tests and stuff like that.
Sure.
We got access to the API earlier, which I can only really use ChatGPT to get me ways to use the API. So it's a full circle. Yeah, the other thing I'd say about this, and I won't go into too much detail because I'm sure we've exhausted the patience of people that don't care about GPT, is there's a fantastic Twitter thread of a person that thought of the situation to ask GPT-4 to make, said, I gave GPT-4 a budget of $100 and told it to make as much money as possible. I'm acting as a human liaison, buying anything it says to. Do you think I'll be able to make smart investments and build an online business? And it is very long and amazing. It's fascinating because it actually has reasonable advice and does keep track in this thread of like how much money he's spent, and he's doing exactly what it says to do. And like, awesome. I mean, it kind of goes viral. So it immediately turns into like a more profitable business because people are investing within the Twitter thread into this business. What? Like as of the last I had read, it was a couple $1,000s net at the point with investors.
Hilarious.
So
show notes.
Yeah, you'll want to
check that out.
Check that out.
Very good.
Good. I have one more thought that it's just a beginning of a thing, but I was asking a friend who does software development. I came up with my last mentor meeting of like, do you plan out your product releases and like improvements and like deadlines and stuff for your internal stuff? And as anybody that's followed the pedestals will know, it's or any of our product launches, they're not very time constrained, it would seem. That's always been a problem for me. So I tried out his suggestion, which has a free version of this roadmap software, I guess is what you call it, but it's like common to like, they call it, some of the language is weird, like they call everything an issue, but it's this app called linear.app.
It's for software development.
Yeah,
specific.
I would say it's coming from that vein, but like I think it works really well still for just products in general, or like, I don't know if I would use it for like customer stuff. It's only currently for products that we're developing, and it helps to create timelines. It's kind of got like the idea of Gantt charts, and then you can do like blocking things so that one item has to get done first and can communicate there. And so it's kind of what I was looking for in terms of like, I just needed a way to like better visualize, here's this product idea, a place to throw all those ideas from GPT that I was kind of generating. I have like a whole like backlog area where it's like all of these potential product things that, we can comment on, we can put our research there. and it's not. I have a really. I just haven't used Airtable effectively enough for anything other than our job shop service has been really fleshed out, but I've never been able to get it to stick really for the rest of what I wanted it for, of like products specifically. It's just been kind of a mess. Yeah. So this is an interesting kind of like purpose-built free solution for that. So just trying it out.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Awesome.
Software corner closed.
Awesome. Beep boop. I don't have an exit sample. I don't think.
Crickets.
Oh, here we go. No, that was quiet. Some of these need improvement.
God, I do have the beep.
The beep.
I needed that earlier.
For your troll friends.
Yeah.
Oh, well. March is looking okay for us now.
Nice.
Good news.
Yeah.
I think we've hit our break-even point. Ooh. Just over halfway through the month, so
that's good.
That's always a good sign. And yeah, interesting on web sales side of things. Like we're obviously still tracking right down in terms of traffic, having turned ads off, but
yeah,
metrics are still looking pretty healthy. It'll be really interesting to see how the next month or so goes. But
yeah,
feeling optimistic about it all at this stage.
For sure.
Yeah,
that is. It's conflicting for sure. I've thought about that a lot, and I have lowered some of our. I mean, they just haven't been converting, but I've lowered some of our ad spends on Facebook specifically because it's just not doing anything. But it always comes in bursts. Like we've sold, our sales are down product wise still, and I think it largely relates to like not having any new products out and not having the pedestals out yet.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But then like out of nowhere, we've sold a bunch of these tool tag towers. Like
right.
Some of it's been social posts, like a TikTok and Instagram has kind of picked up on some of the posts I made about them. And they're not like a high margin thing. It's kind of just like a thing. So what?
Yeah. You did promote them though, right?
Yeah, I've
posted about them.
I've posted them a few times. You know, the whole like I just kind of reposted the video, and I don't think that's really driven much. But like, I don't know. It's just suddenly it's like people were just thinking about it, and then it's so weird to me how things all happen at once like that. It's like.
But did you repost that video after you'd sold them or before?
After we had sold.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe half of what had sold in the last couple of weeks. So. It's organization time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, with my sort of quick download in terms of what's happening with our ad-free metrics, sales are down, sessions are down 45%, and conversion rate's way up, obviously. And it's changed our... like sessions from where sessions are coming from social sources has changed dramatically. So suddenly Pinterest has stayed consistent, but has become like the leading social source of referrals.
Oh, interesting.
And Facebook has dropped right off, but is still number 2 with Instagram as 3rd, which is weird. I put 0 effort into our Facebook presence. Like I just like the little box is checked in Instagram, so stuff syncs automatically, but like that's the extent of my engagement with Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's still driving the second most traffic, which I just find bizarre. But
there's some weird stuff that happens when you turn off ads. I've had this happen Google and Facebook both. Where even if you kill them, you will still get trickles of traffic from those ads. It's like they're like, I pre-sold this ad for you for a month out. And then it just happens later. And you're like, what the? Like you go and look at your analytics and you're still getting ads from a certain campaign. And you're like, that's off. And you go check it and it's off. But the other thing about that is.
I should look at that.
Even if you're doing ads specifically on Instagram, it's sometimes the link outs will be from Facebook links, which is just goofy.
Yeah. Yeah. Confusing.
Yeah.
That's my story.
I just asked GPT how to get a bad Google review removed when it's vindictive and has no relation to our business. And I have a 7-step process on how to do it waiting for me. If only it could do it for me.
What an afternoon you have to look forward to. Wonderful.
Yeah. Got more stuff to
On
mill.
the plus side of reviews, we've been actively seeking them lately. Jay's been surveying our customers, reaching out to our customers for reviews, actively saying, thanks, I'm glad you like your thing. It'd be great if you could leave us a review. And so we've finally started integrating them into our website. And I have this sense of like, what have we been doing for the last 15 years? All those wasted, beautiful, kind words that our customers have had for us in the inbox or that have gone, we've read them and felt warm and fuzzy internally, but we've never like reshared them or put them on our website.
Yeah, website.
So we're finally starting to do that, and it feels good.
Homepage is looking good. It's very I don't know the right words. It looks good.
Yeah, thanks. Jay updated the font.
That's probably
recently.
it. Is it Helvetica?
Probably. It was the choice. There was like 2 choices, and one of them was Helvetica. Because Jay wanted to roll out something that was more standard, I believe. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest.
It is Inter. Supposedly.
Inter. That's right. Inter. That's the one. Some web font.
It's nice. It does look
Oh, yeah.
crazy like Helvetica. I'm out of the design game,
Yeah.
I guess.
Me too. Oh well. Should we go do some things?
Yeah, let's make something.
Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Cool, man. All right.
See ya.
Have a good end of your week. Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Supper's ready, such as it is. Come along, everybody. Bring your drinks.